friends, I'm Sam from Sam's Disney Diary, and that is the blue-haired blogger himself, Greg from Fantasyland News. Greg, how are you doing today?
Sam, welcome back, my friend. I want to say happy birthday to you. It is your official birthday today. You are
It is. Thank
21.
you so
You are
much.
officially old enough to have a beverage here at a new lounge that's going to be opening up called the Beak Barrel. So there you go, my friend. Happy birthday. Other than that, Sam, today we are talking about we got breaking news, man, out
Breaking
of
news?
Disney. Massive breaking news. The seventh theme park across the world is going to be opening up in Abu Dhabi. We'll talk about that a little bit. Disneyland, we're going to talk about Disneyland 70th and basically how they're doing better than what they did for the WDW 50th anniversary.
Hey, Walt Disney World, hold my beer. Watch this.
Yeah, really. We got food, popcorn, more food. We got novelties, so much going on. May the 4th at Disneyland, but we're also going to talk a lot down here at Hollywood Studios, which I went to and stood in line and got wet and stood in line and got wet and it rained and then lightsabers. And, it's just awesome. We're going to move over and talk about Lilo and Stitch. Tickets are now on sale. We have popcorn buckets coming from all the different Regal Cinemas, AMC, Cinemark. We got all of that stuff. Then we're going to go over Magic Kingdom, talk about Emporium updates, create your own headband. Hats are now out. And by the way, Romeo McGraw, I'm still looking for you, buddy. New Country Bear meet and greet. And then, of course, Sam, as always, we're going to finish off talking about the Muppets 70th Anniversary Magnet.
Well, you got it. All that and more coming up next. Thanks for the birthday wishes. Thanks for joining us. Tell us where you're from. We'll be right back. All right, Greg, welcome back. Thanks, everybody, for joining us.
Put me back up there. Put me back up there.
All right. Let's do that. Let's do that. There you go.
Oh, man. This is your happy birthday hat. Since you won't wear the happy birthday hat, I am wearing this.
I don't have a happy birthday hat.
You don't have a Mickey happy birthday hat?
I don't. But next time I'm down, I'll take a picture with one. So next year we can use it on the show.
Here's the problem.
Thank you very much for the birthday wishes.
In my house, you have to wear the hat during the day, and then we have to sing happy birthday to you. But it's not your normal happy birthday song. It has to be done in whatever style you want. And when 5 or 6 people are singing it together in totally different styles, it's pure chaos, my friend.
It's like it's a small world, but not.
So there you go. There's your happy birthday hat.
I appreciate that for sure. Thank you very much. So let's jump in because there is so much news happening. And by the way, tell us where you're from. And again, thank you for the birthday wishes. In breaking news this morning, I guess sort of a birthday gift, Disney had a pretty big announcement. We knew today was earnings for Disney, quarterly earnings. They report to the street. They tell them how things went, which, by the way, everything's up. Subscribers for Disney Plus was up.
Yeah, did you listen?
That's cool. I did not listen to the commentary. I didn't have time.
I did.
You did. So any
I did.
news from that other than the breaking news of a new theme park being built,
Sure, actually,
constructed, and
Sam,
I'll
I
tell me.
I wrote notes.
Okay, tell me.
So they are still investing. Now, you remember they had the original 60 billion price tag that they were investing into parks and experiences.
Over
That's
5
actually
years, right?
that
Okay.
is actually over 10 years.
Okay.
Uh, Realistically, what that is $30 billion just for Walt Disney World and Disneyland alone.
Okay.
So the rest of the 60 billion is going into Disney Cruise Line. It's going overseas. It's going into different
Okay.
other products, but it is $30 billion just for Disney World and Disneyland. They're bullish in the belief of how the attendance is going to stay. Right now, they are up 4% over looking ahead into the third quarter and up 7% looking into the fourth quarter of this year. Attendance is probably down 1 to 1.5% from overseas. Yeah, it's being more than made up by the domestic demand here.
Well, that's good. And the only question that I've had as I wonder that 30 billion in the US,
Yeah.
what was Tiana's part of that? Was Tron part of that? Or is
No,
this
no, no,
part
no, no. Those were
later? So
allocated
this
years
is
ago.
Encanto at Animal Kingdom, Tropical Americas. This is those construction projects.
Villains Land.
Villains
This
Land,
is
Cars Land,
Cars. He
everything happening
specifically
in Magic
mentioned
Kingdom.
Villains Land and Cars Land. He specifically mentioned Avatar, Coco, and the Disney Land Forward project. Disneyland
Which is
Forward, with all
Disneyland.
the stuff, is expected to be about $12 billion.
Okay,
So
that's
there
big.
you go. There's $12 billion going to Disneyland, and the rest coming here to Disney World. And then it's the things that aren't being discussed, like how much is this new resort being built down here going to cost, and is that part of it?
Sure.
Yeah. So there's a lot coming into this, and then of course that leads into Abu
The breaking
Dhabi
news.
Disney.
Abu
Dhabi
Dhabi Disney or whatever, Disneyland Abu Dhabi,
Disney Abu
Disneyland
Dhabi.
AEU, whatever they're going to call it. There was a
Yeah.
huge, I don't know when this happened. It was either last evening or very recently, but a big drone show and some really huge announcements.
It
But
was
Disney
today.
is building, and I want to be careful how I say this because you're going to
Yeah.
correct me. Disney is working with a company in Abu Dhabi to construct a Disney theme park at Disneyland over there. But they're consulting and helping with it, but the investment is really coming from a local company, right?
Millard, I believe it is. And I could be wrong on the name Millar. Disney is just leasing their properties and their IP to this company. Disney will be the ones who operate and run it. They will also be the ones who implement the rides and the lands. They own the IP, but this company and the Abu Dhabi, which is the government, basically owns this park. This is almost a Disney Tokyo Sea with the Tokyo Land Company, where they own everything and then they just lease the IP from Disney for X amount of years and it keeps being upped. Disney actually has no say in the property itself. They are not going to make profit from the property. They are not owners.
But and you know what? It's incredible because yet this is another Disney theme park.
Yeah.
I love the
Land
concept art
Company.
because
That's what I was
it's
thinking
so
of. Oriental Land Company. Sorry.
yes, but it's their property.
Yes.
They're limited investment, but yet it's only upside for them. And I think it's wonderful. I love this concept art that we're looking at here because it's so vague and there's so many cloudy areas where you really can't see what's there. Like, is this a Matterhorn mountain all the way over? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Is this a big thunder type thing? You really can't tell, but you get an idea of, ooh, there's some castles around here and you can see the city in the distance. So this clearly is on the outskirts, but it is beautiful. It's gorgeous over there. I've been to the UAE before. Amazing.
I will never
Breaking
be
news.
over there, Sam, so I have no clue. So
put it on the bucket
there
list.
you go.
Well, let's talk about a place that we are going to go because I want to segue to Disneyland essentially telling Walt Disney World, hey, here, hold my beer. You had some really cool things happening for your 50th anniversary. But
Yeah.
for our 70th anniversary, we are going to introduce 70 new menu items, limited time treats, and novelties across the resort, Downtown Disney, Disneyland, and California Adventure. Some of these things are amazing. We didn't talk about this last week. We had some other things, but let's touch on just the popcorn buckets. Check out Mickey and his little outfit. I love it,
You
man.
see that Mickey right there? Hold on, let me change this real quick. You see that Mickey right there? Look, wouldn't he look great behind me?
He would.
Just
yeah,
hop
right
up onto
back
the
there.
popcorn shelves. There you go.
Well,
Yeah,
and it's
Mickey
good
needs to
because
go.
behind you on the left is the Mickey Mouse from the 50th anniversary. This is
That's Mickey and Minnie. Oh,
the Mickey and Minnie. Well, one was a sipper and one was a popcorn bucket, right?
Yeah, and what do we have here? We have a sipper and a popcorn bucket.
We do. So let's look at the bigger novelties. I don't have them all here because we can't talk about 70
There's
items.
some impressive ones.
Is there
really anything that stood out to you?
The Mickey popcorn bucket and also the the Tomorrowland Terrace tumbler, which looks like a rocks glass, but it's got that classic people mover Tomorrowland logo from when Disneyland opened, and there wasn't really anything in Tomorrowland, but that stood out to me. It's cool stuff, man.
There's some really cool stuff. Like and we just got today, the medallion went up on the castle. They are
I
getting
saw some of that. Yes, it looks wonderful over Disneyland.
It looks really impressive. I know you're hoping to get out there in the next year. I'm hoping to get out there.
So I will say that was the one thing I read. This celebration starts here May 16th, I think it is. That's just a week and a half away, and it goes through the summer of 2026. But I don't think that, well, maybe I'm wrong. Are the buckets going to make it till summer of 26? No, I need to get out there sometime this fall.
No, because it's going to be like Disney World, where they switch every few months. They're like, hey, here's a new bucket.
Mickey Mouse bucket. Here's the Donald bucket. Here's the
Matterhorn popcorn bucket. Here's a Matterhorn. Like,
yes,
it's very look at all the stuff that they can do. It's just impressive. That's really cool. I love these ideas. To me, I love the Mickey one, obviously, but seeing the Yeti, that's pretty cool. And then more importantly to me, it was the Mickey ear. I love the Mickey ear popcorn bucket. I have a whole collection of them up on
the balloon ears. Yes, and I forgot to put that image in here. I did include a couple of the snacks because
that's a lot of snacks.
It's a lot of snacks, right? So if there's 10 novelties, there's 60 snacks. But there's the Mickey ears, there's the birthday cake. Now I love this. I like this color scheme better than the iridescent glow color scheme that we had for the 50th. That kind of grew on me, but I really like this a lot.
Dude, there's one thing I miss is the Disney 50th, the WDW 50th anniversary. I miss the song. I miss the characters. I miss I miss having so much sparkles in everything I ate and drank that you could see it the next morning.
That's what worried me about the iridescent stuff.
So much, man.
Yeah,
so much.
Yeah.
Look, Disneyland knows how to do it right. Their food selections, really, they match it and far exceed what Disney World does on that department. So
they do.
I can't wait to get out there and try some. There's a few that I was like, ooh, I have to try that. I really can't wait for that.
Absolutely, and it's all over the park. By the way, Scott, Lily, thank you for the birthday wishes.
Yeah.
Let us know where you're out there from.
Thanks,
so
guys.
That's the 70th. I do want to talk about Disneyland because you and I a lot of times feel like, man, they get everything in Disneyland. And I know people out there think that we get everything here at Disney World, but not that it's mine. This is all Disney. It's great. But May the 4th, Star Wars night, right? They do their limited edition Star Wars nights, probably a dozen nights a year on top of Seasons of the Force. Star Wars night was on Star Wars Day, May the 4th, and they had a special guest in Luna. Diego Luna was there, Andor himself, just amazing. They
Dude,
marched with the
they had
501st.
their own cavalcade. He marched
They
down with the stormtroopers,
with the
and I mean,
501st, yep. They had a special castle show that was one time only. Join the rebellion. Wow, that's all I can say.
look, man, we have
There you
Star
go.
Wars down here. Why don't we get? See, this
Look
is
at these. Look at
yeah.
all of these lightsabers in front of Sleeping Beauty's
Sam, you
castle. It is
remember
the coolest thing.
when Imagineering was supposed to move to Florida? We would have had all this stuff here.
Well, not if the stars aren't here, though. I mean, I get it. But look at all those lightsabers in front of the castle, and down
yeah.
here's the 501st. And
Did you see any of the show on the castle was really well done.
I'm sure it was amazing.
What I loved was nobody knew that this was happening, so Main Street was dead empty. Crickets. There's like one guy standing there with a lightsaber.
Yeah, because everybody else is in Galaxy's Edge.
I was like, what is going on here? There is nobody watching this parade, and it was just like that. It was so cool seeing Diego Luna coming down. I mean, Andor is such a massive hit on Disney Plus. I have not started the new season, so don't spoil anything.
Nor have I, Greg. I did watch the Tales of the Underworld. I have not watched season 2 yet.
Yeah,
I just haven't.
I Star Wars rather hard down here in Disney.
Well, let's talk about that, because while this was happening at Disneyland, you were at Walt Disney World on Star Wars Day, May the 4th, 2025, for the merchandise drop. Which, by the way, I was looking at the merchandise drop online at DisneyStore.com, where you had to join a queue, just like you were trying to buy tickets for Destination D23 before it allowed you to get into the store. That's how busy it was, Greg. But when I got there, one of the first things I spotted were these new mugs.
Yeah.
The Starbucks mugs that you spotted there. And by the way, I'm going to reach up for a second, because behind me on a shelf, I have, and I'm going to highlight myself here for a second. This is the original set. That's the Tatooine mug I have. So if you compare that one to the new Tatooine mug, they're different, right? It's the new version of the Been There series from Star Wars, from Starbucks. And each of these are a planet: Kashyyyk, Tatooine, and Geonosia. I need to complete my set from the first one, and now there's another set. So I'm going.
Sam. I sent them to you instantly. I had them in my hands.
I know you did.
I could have walked out of there with them, but I had so much else to do.
I understand that. There's a couple that I need from the first series, but yeah. Anyway, let's move on, because I think cooler was, you walk into Keystone Closure and they hand you, here's what we got. What do you want? This reminds me of Star Wars weekends. This is the merch. This is how much it is. What do you want? And by the way, there's already sold out sticker on one of the pins.
Yes. And what's nice, though, is the majority of that stuff is still available today. Obviously, some sizes are not available, but the ears, the hat, the magic band, the mug, the Wampa plush, the AT-AT Walker was there. Yoda was there. The mouse droid, not there.
The mouse droid, the remote control mouse droid, right?
Yeah. But the Spirit jerseys were still available. The T-shirt, actually, if you see it in person, what you don't get is it's embroidered around the whole outside of the image and is raised up a little bit. It is really well done. And yeah, man, if I had money on that day, if I wasn't spending my money elsewhere, I would have got the shirts.
Okay, the Hoth AT-AT for $99. How big is that? Is that
about 1.5 feet long and about 1 foot tall?
So it's 2 bananas.
It's a banana and it's a banana and 3/4.
Banana for scale.
You know what, Sam? When I go back this weekend, I will take the banana for scale, and we will know exactly.
I'm just curious how big that is. Kind of cool.
It's pretty big.
There were some more things on the reverse of this image, which, by the way, the QR code here does not work. Last week's Mother's Day card did. This one will not work if you try it.
The hat was still available. The Crocs were plenty of Crocs.
The Crocs are online at Shop Disney or DisneyStore.com.
Yeah.
So is that mug that I'm looking at. I don't know. The Anakin and Obi-Wan was there. I don't know if it still is. But this was all a Keystone closures. So the Star Wars store, which last week when I walked through it, there was nothing Star Wars in it, was Star Wars again.
No. Yeah. There was
Okay.
a corner that was called the Star Wars corner.
And
That
lots of
place got
boxes
rid of
where
all
they
the
were pulling things
Marvel,
out.
all the Lucas, all of everything. It's like there's a Indiana Jones hat and a bit of Star Wars.
Oh, got it. All right.
But you can go to Tatooine Traders and get the Hoth collection. You can
Okay.
get the collection elsewhere. So it's not like it's not being sold in the parks. It's
So, but
just
this
not
was
in that store.
dated May the 4th merchandise.
Yes,
For the most,
this
not
is
all of
May
it.
the 4th, and it is still available. And then what we didn't see was May the 6th.
No, Return of the 6th.
Revenge of the 6th?
Revenge of the 6th. Yes.
Whatever
which
it
was
is. Yeah,
all the
there's so
super
many
stuff
days
that
in a
dropped
row, man.
yesterday. Yes.
Yeah,
It's
it's Star Wars
you
week.
know, it's May the 4th. It's Return of the 5th, or whatever you want to say, then Return of the, and then my birthday. So I'm good with it all.
Right.
So it works out nicely, right? It works out nicely for things like this. But
Oh.
we'll talk about that later.
Oof.
So that wasn't the only place you could get limited edition merch, because Doc Ondors also had some specials for May the 4th. That's where the mouse droid was, but that's sold out, you're telling me now?
Yeah, that's sold out now.
Imperial probe droid, a Mace Windu plush.
I have not seen that probe droid, and that was the other thing that I really wanted. Like, everything was expensive this year. Like that probe droid and the mouse droid together.
Okay. I see that. Now that I'm looking at this, Doc Ondors had the 3 things across the top.
Yep.
The Droid Depot had the Imperial Probe Droid. The Market had the Mace Windu plush. Resistance Supply had the baseball cap, and First Order Cargo had the Vader Deluxe print, which is really interesting, dude. Because going back a couple of weeks when we did our pushback on Star Wars and the timeline and then breaking it, I was the first person to always go into First Order Cargo and say, do you have any relics from the Empire, like Darth Vader? Because there would never be anything Vader, and that's what I wanted to buy. But now apparently there's a Vader Deluxe print that you can get in First Order Cargo.
It was pretty big too. I watched a few people struggle on their way out of Hollywood Studios with that.
Scott needs a size 16 Croc. We're gonna look for those.
Good luck, sir.
Mouse Droid Master and Apprentice limited edition legacy lightsaber set. That is Balin and why am I blanking on her name? Hattie. Balin Shaw, and I forget, but that's kind of cool. That's from Ahsoka, right?
Yep.
Those two, the Master and Apprentice, different lightsabers. Cool. You can go to Tatooine Traders off planet for additional supplies. How about that?
Yeah, and they were there, most of it.
This was an image that you took from May the 4th. Lots and lots of buckets right there, my friend.
Yeah, that was Droid for Scale.
Droid for Scale, big droid.
Yeah.
Popcorn bucket, Death Star. Let's give it a listen. Powering up.
That's just awesome. Come on, man.
Very cool.
Of all the things that we all wanted, that was number one. It was at 6 a.m., my friend. I was up and at my phone ordering this at 6 a.m., knowing that is all I wanted for the day. I was like,
and that was available via mobile order.
Yes.
For the souvenir, it was a special mobile order. You're just going to go and turn it on right now. Yeah, we see it. All right, keep going. Keep going.
I almost grabbed the wrong thing. No, what's really cool about this is you do have the two settings. You have the it's just lit up.
Oh, cool.
Which is really
with
cool.
the blue
and
trench.
It does open at the top for your
so it is a popcorn bucket.
Need.
You can't put
so
popcorn
it is a popcorn bucket. And then of course if you hit the button again, I would run.
Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I wanted to do that. That's super cool. Love it.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move to a couple of other things that you spotted there, because I see a comment about the Jawa is somebody's favorite, Holly, and that Sipper Cup was available, along with the Chosen One cooler or the Sith Lord libation. Love that. which are basically the blue drink and the red drink that came with a little lightsaber swizzle stick. Did you partake in any of those? Or what's the swizzle
No,
stick look like?
because again, I had my eyes set on this
And
little
it's
guy.
$15.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
All right, so let's
$15.
talk about
And then
that.
if you wanted to have it as an adult beverage, it was $27.
Oh, I see
Yeah.
that now. If you wanted the shot of tequila, it's 27.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sam, I
all
can't
right.
afford $27 times 2 for like to
Yeah, no,
man.
I understand.
Because you got to get 2. You can't just get 1.
That's almost as much as the popcorn bucket. And by the way, on the far right, that is that a coaxium holder and a lightsaber?
Sipper. That is a coaxium sipper. That inside fills up with whatever you want to fill it up with. There is light, so it looks like it's bubbling through.
That's cool.
And then it sits in that holder. What in the background, the gold part is an actual holder. It holds that in there. And what's great is if you hit the button, the coaxium flips out of it.
Cool.
And then my camera went dead.
That's all right. Keep going. Death Store popcorn bucket is super cool. So what I'm going to do, I am going to go to the next image here because you were just about to show us your Jawa, and you shared a video of it. So this is the Jawa sipper in action. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. And you have that with you there now, sir.
And he does talk to you.
Does he say Houdini?
He does.
The Jawa is cool. A lot of people loving the Jawa.
There it is. And then he does open in the back. He is a sipper.
Sipper.
I honestly
like
haven't figured out how to. Oh wait, I have figured out how to get him, Sam.
Show us. What did you do?
I've figured out something, Sam.
Okay. Oh no! What did you do?
You can behead a Jawa live on YouTube.
All right, let's go back here because what is on top here? That is a AT and tell me what that novelty food item is.
Macaroon.
It's the Hoth macaroon.
It is. That is as much coconut as you can put onto a plate as humanly possible with a white chocolate AT Walker.
And what looks like Echo Base next to it that it's attacking. Is that what we're supposed to have here? The scale's a little off, but I'm good with it.
Scale is way off. And the flavor was even more way off. That was
we'll leave it at that.
One of the stringiest macaroons I've ever had in my life.
Lots of snow or coconut shards. I'm seeing that.
And then the whole thing was coconut shard.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, Holly and I sat there and went, "Why did we do this to ourselves?"
Yeah,
we did it for you, people. We did this for you because we have to test these things so you can go, "Oh, no, thank you."
Yeah, I don't know that they'll be there in June, but you never know. Sometimes, and I'll tell you why you never know, Lily, because they still had the Figment light bulb bucket in Epcot last week when I was there, and that's from the Festival of Arts. So
and they have a plethora of the Jawa sippers available all over the park. It's like Jawas took over.
So it's possible it's there in June. We're gonna keep our fingers crossed for you.
Yeah.
You took a picture of Launch Bay. Anything good going on in there?
Yes, my friend. At Launch Bay, of course. How can you have Star Wars weekend? Sorry, not Star Wars weekend.
Yeah, we wish.
See, now we won't bring that up. You can't have May the 4th be with you without characters. And over at Launch Depot or Launch Bay was R2D2 and Chopper.
Chopper was in Launch Bay. I don't know that I've known Chopper to be in studios before. Have you seen him?
Yes, last year on May the 4th was the only other time he's ever appeared here. Locally.
So this image you took of R2, he's in front. It looks like he's in Betu someplace.
Yeah, it was an older
he also in?
But he was in he was in Launch Bay. But the problem is he was behind a lot of stuff, so getting to him was going to take 2.5 hours.
So was BB-8 still there as well? Because BB-8's sort of been there all along.
They were droided up, man. There were so many droids going on that day.
And BB-8, Darth Vader, and Chewbacca are the 3
We're all
characters that are
there.
there
Yep.
all the time. So
Yep.
they were there plus Chopper plus R2. That's cool.
Yeah, it was really cool.
That's cool. I love your Jawa all buckled up in the car, ready to go.
Yeah,
home.
man, you got to keep a Jawa safe. You can't look.
Yeah,
It's his first time riding in my land speeder.
I love it. All right, now let's talk about May the 4th, May the 5th. Lots of things were happening. You had to do a special order to get the buckets. But now, as of yesterday and today, they're mobile ordered from the popcorn cart within Galaxy's Edge, right?
Yes, you can get them at all the popcorn carts, and you can mobile order them from Katsaka's popcorn.
Katsaka's. And if you do it from Katsaka's, you can choose between the regular popcorn or the Galaxy's Edge blend, the Death Star bucket, and the salvaged trooper bucket.
Right.
Greg, are these the same prices that they were on the 8th? Something seems
so
different.
after investigating, Sam, they are the same prices that were available at the popcorn stands all day, except if you mobile ordered the Death Star originally on May the 4th, it was $35 mobile order. But if you waited in line, it was $32.89.
I don't understand.
I don't either.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
I do know, my friend, that these two specific, the salvaged clone trooper helmet and the Death Star, have a very special place.
Yeah. Great.
Are they there?
Yeah,
they're
off to my side.
They're off to your side, but yeah,
hold
thank
on,
you very much.
on,
now, no, you don't have to get them. Keep your ears on. Now he can't hear me. And I only say that because Greg was nice enough to, cool dude. He's putting his ears back on.
Now,
that
of course,
is
I
the
can't hear anything because I took
right.
my ears off.
Greg, is that the same size as the salvaged trooper bucket?
Exact same size. The only difference, his head does not lift off this time.
Okay.
The bottom opens
well,
up.
And that's how the other one was too, the salvage, but you held it like the stormtrooper bucket. When you wore it, it was upside down.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same, but I love it.
These are yours. These both right here.
Nice. As soon as I get back down there,
I will be sending them up to Sam on Thursday or Friday.
Love that. Or I'll get it. We'll talk about that later, but thank you, sir. And by the way, it's proof that you can mobile order from not being in the park. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. Speaking of popcorn buckets, dude, tell me about Stitch live action, the 28th. That's only 2 weeks away. And there's some popcorn buckets, not in Disney World, but at AMC theaters. You scoop these right away, and we're one of the first to have this stuff on the web showing it. And what is happening, man? It looks kind of cool, actually. I'm not a big fan. But
so D23 members, by the way, hold on one sec, Sam. So this is what I sent you earlier.
Yes.
It fits perfectly. I'm trying to clear up room so I can move some stuff around and use my mouse again.
I understand.
I backed myself into a corner, but I can't do anything with the Death Star in front of me. Lilo and Stitch is due out May 23rd. Disney's live action remake of Lilo and Stitch actually has a 20-minute longer runtime, but tickets went on sale yesterday. So through Fandango or through whatever chain you're going, Regal, Cinemark,
AMC, Regal,
AMC, Marcus Theaters, Movie Tavern, whatever you have around you, you're going to see. Tickets are now on sale. With the announcement of tickets on sales, popcorn buckets were announced, and there is so many popcorn buckets and sippers and everything.
And they vary based on the movie theater, right? Like AMC.
Yeah, and nothing for nothing.
Cinemark.
Stitch popcorn buckets are huge at Disney World. So imagine how big it's getting outside of Disney World with popcorn buckets are just a huge collection and a tie-in to all these movies. Nosferatu has them. The new Mission Impossible ones look amazing. I mean, the Marvel
Darth Vader looked amazing.
Avengers looked amazing. Or Thunderbolts was amazing. Like, there's so many popcorn buckets out there. The Stitch ones, you're going to have different ones. You're going to have Stitch, just looks like a normal Disney World popcorn bucket. They have one of a popcorn bucket bowl he's holding. That's a pineapple.
That's
One,
cool.
he's
I like
holding
that.
like a palm tree. There is dome sipper cups. There's blind keychains. If you're a kid, they come with Stitch ears. So the movie tie-ins. I think AMC is actually selling a neon light that says Stitch on it too.
Okay, I believe it.
Anywhere between I think $7.99 for the headband, all the way up to like $50 for the big popcorn buckets, and that's
Okay.
normal price for now. And these, I don't,
You gotta yeah.
they're
You gotta get to
great.
the theater opening weekend to get it. They're not there the second weekend.
Yeah, it depends on what it is, and if they
And
get
where you
restocked
are.
or not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
depends on what it is and where you are.
you can down here at Disney Springs. Good luck. Just good. And what's if you're looking for it now, some of them are on sale now at your local AMC or local Regal. So go check that out. And there's also 2 special ones that
Okay.
nobody's talking about yet that we will
Alright.
put up the moment we can announce them.
Okay. We'll look forward to them. We'll be watching
Yeah. But then
fantasylandnews.com.
again, you have your normal popcorn tin, your normal popcorn bucket. They're all refillable. They have special combos that are coming. You can go to the website and read all about it. There is so much coming out for this movie. Plus, we have the trailer, we have the commercials, we have the new posters that are out there. This is going to be a massive hit, and
Absolutely.
people are. I don't like early reviews, but
We'll
it looks
see.
good.
I think it's gonna be a lot better than the last live action that was released, and I think that it's going to do well enough to maybe get some others that got set aside back on the burner. We just have to wait and see what
We'll
happens.
see. We'll
We'll
see.
see. Let's head over to Magic Kingdom. You visited there again, of course, and the new Stars and Stripes collection, we'll call it that. The
Yeah, that's what
Walt
I'm calling
Disney
it.
World
I mean,
sort
look,
of
we're in,
Memorial Day summer. Call it
yeah,
summer, whatever. It's the red, white, and blue collection, and I think it looks
yeah.
cool.
I think it looks great. There's a lot to it. The new lug bag. They have the baseball jersey, the baseball cap. They have women's T-shirts. They have tank tops. They have
The
kids
one thing
sizes.
you didn't have a close up of this right here, but that is a Sam the Eagle sipper, and it just says America underneath. Sam the Eagle who is saluting. I like that.
A
That's
salute
cool.
to America, or salute to all
So to
nations,
all
but
nations,
mostly.
but mostly America.
Now, there's a cup that goes along with that mug. It's not officially part of that collection, but it was
You can
there.
see it over here.
Yeah.
Baseball jersey looks like a ladies or kids baseball jersey. Stars and Stripes forever.
Yep.
I like this collection. I think it looks great.
It looks great. And then there's also, look, if you start getting colder at nighttime after being in the sun all day, there is also a light sweater that goes on top of it all. So yeah,
Very
the whole collection is out there, and prices range from like $24.99 all the way up to $64.99.
very cool. Where did you spot these, and where else have you seen them?
Hollywood Studios, Magic Kingdom, and the Emporium,
Okay.
and Disney Springs.
So
That's
speaking
where
of
I
the
spotted them, but I know that they're available
they're
at
gonna
all
be
the
all over.
parks.
This is a
Yeah.
series that's gonna be everywhere.
Yep.
Speaking of the Emporium, you brought us some images from the Emporium because it is getting revamped, a new floors, some new colors, different shelving configuration, I'll say. And when I
Yeah.
say a different shelving configuration, I really mean less merchandise, it feels like more room in these things. But
More room, things are laid out a whole lot better. So you have a youth and plush area, you have a home goods section. Now, these were all there before, but nothing was labeled. Everything's labeled
yes,
now. Here's where the construction is moved to. So the whole store is pretty much open, except for the back wall, which you can see them opening on. And then anywhere you see that tile
so is
is
that
where
the
they're
back
going to
wall
next.
where the last section before Casey's? Is that where we are now?
No, so we are up towards the front where you would
Oh,
enter. This is
okay.
directly across from that. So the side door going in next to the barber shop
S-
is actually
Is
closed right now. So there's your
okay.
main entrance from
Yes.
Town Square, and it's right on the other side of that.
I will
So
say
that section is all the next section to be fixed.
when you look at all of the room that there is in some of these images, Greg, it made it very convenient for somebody that may have been in an ECV because they couldn't walk all that much to get around inside the Emporium. It was nice. I've never experienced doing it the old way, but I can only imagine how hard it would have been to get through there in a wheelchair or in some kind of a mobility device.
Yeah,
Everything.
but I also look at this and don't think that that's gonna stay like it. I think once
Okay.
they open it up and they are completely finished with it, I think you're gonna see the long shelves return and it be more. I mean, look, it is the second largest square footage store for Disney memorabilia at Walt Disney World.
Yep. Outside of World of Disney, it's the biggest. Yep.
Yep. So I would imagine they're gonna pack it back in. But for right now, we can enjoy. I can
Yeah.
zip through this store in the morning in like a minute and a half, and I'm in Adventureland. It's great.
I hear you. Um, I'm not sure if this was in that store or a different one, but this
Across
is
the
the
street.
okay, create your own headband. And
Yeah.
in addition, because now in addition to the headbands, there are baseball caps that have been added to this. So you can now create or take any of those headbands and attach them to a baseball cap. That's kind of cool.
It is kind of cool. I think people wanted a baseball cap version of this. It does cost $14.99 compared to $9.99 for the headband. The
It's a
headband,
cap that you don't even have to put one on. It's a cool black Disney World
yeah.
cap.
With slots. There is
Well,
2
and
slots
that's
on
what I want to
either
get to
side.
because you sent me this picture, and the first thing I said was, "How many can you get on there?" Because my thought was, you're just Velcro sticking them on, and I'm going to get a half a dozen of them on my head. But
Right, 'cause
no, that's not how they hook up
no.
because they push into a slot, and you can really only get two of them on here. That
They
kind of
do.
stinks. But
And
okay,
they look like ears at that point, so it is
they
create
do
your own ears basically with Disney characters. The
with
create your
a
own
visor to
headband,
keep the
you
sun
can
out
get
of your
up
hair.
to 5 characters on there. On this one, you can only get 2. But, I mean, look, you only need 2 characters sometimes.
Yeah, Mickey and Minnie,
Yeah,
Donald,
and then the
Daisy.
characters are themselves are $11.99 per character. There is so many new characters that have come out that this,
Yeah.
people love this create your own headband stuff.
Yeah, the comment from Lily, wish there was a lighter color. I would say stay tuned because it appears that there's constantly something getting added.
Let's talk about coming soon. We may see a lighter color, but also this is all coming to DisneyStore.com, so you don't have to be
Oh,
just at the parks. Next week, you can find these all in Disney Store, and I do believe they're going to be releasing a few extra things along with it.
all right, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
So while after you left the Emporium and walked around a little bit, of course, a beautiful picture of the castle, and you got lost because, my friend, you were out searching for bears, specifically Romeo from the Country Bears. And am I right that you couldn't find him?
Can I don't often complain here, Sam, but there's
But
one thing
if
that
there's one
people
thing that
know that
grinds
I
my
love,
gears,
and it's bears. And people know that I love me some bears, and I'm gonna go meet as many bears at Disney World as possible. And
yes,
it all the people will be in the middle of a conversation with me, and I will see a bear, and I will take off running, and
or
people
villain
will
or any
too.
character, but anyway, yeah, okay.
So I went over at 9 a.m. the day after they announced this. I'm there at 9 a.m. going, I'm going to be the first to meet Romeo McGraw, right? AKA the old liver lips, name change, updated, sings Kiss
It's
the
okay.
Girl in the new show. Man, I'm waiting to meet Romeo McGraw. Romeo McGraw was a no-show. Not only is he a
Oh,
no-show, but Disney announced that, and he's not appearing until Mother's Day.
he
So
will be
now
there for
I
Mother's
have
Day.
to take the mother of my children over to the Magic Kingdom to go meet a bear on Mother's Day.
She pretty much knows. I mean, there are comments accordingly that, yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, Holly.
Yep. So
All
now
right.
she
So
has to watch me slobber all over a giant lipped bear, just going, "Come here, big bear."
Romeo. That's how Greg spent his day. But
Yeah.
after that, you did make your way to Tomorrowland, where you noticed some new construction walls that were expected because this is concealing the equipment that is going to put the Astro Orbiter back in place, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, Astro Orbiter has been down since January 7th, somewhere
It
around
was
there.
taken away.
Yeah, and we look, I speculated that they were gonna do any refurbishment while the ride was still there, because we knew in Disneyland when they fixed Astro Orbiter, they
Yeah,
removed the whole
they took it
attraction.
away. Yes.
I'd speculate that wouldn't happen here. No, they removed the whole ride. The whole outside you see where the planets are and that round shape and the
All
big
gone.
structure,
Yeah.
that is called an orrery. The orrery and all the planets have been and celestial bodies were taken away also. They are slowly starting to return, Sam. So we are getting step by step closer to that reopening.
Cool.
Hall of Presidents is about to reopen. Test Track is about to reopen. We have Cool Kids Summer coming down here. It is
Dude,
exciting.
in 20 days, we got 2 big attractions coming to Hollywood Studios too. So there's a lot of stuff happening. A lot of stuff about to get reopened. So I do have a question for you. Did you the one piece of this attraction that I felt could use the best upgrade is the elevators and the way that you get up and down. Have you noticed anything around those elevators as far as changing them or
No, they haven't done anything to the elevators. There's been no work done in that area. Nothing has been closed off. Nothing has been barricaded. No walls went up. They left them alone.
Not that it couldn't happen, because you could just I don't know. Just speculating. Anyway, speaking of things opening, things being new, we learned at Destination D 2023, 2 years ago, that there was a pirates-themed tavern coming to Magic Kingdom. And earlier this week, we learned that it will be the Beak and Barrel.
Yeah, Disney, thanks for dropping this news while I'm trying to meet a bear that's a no-show in Frontierland.
So we got a name.
The Beak and Barrel.
And we got one new piece of concept art and a little bit of backstory. Now, if you remember, the original concept art showed this parrot, which looks like the Barker bird that used to be in front of the Pirates attraction, that was taken away and appeared at Disney Springs for a long time, but then disappeared. Apparently, he's coming back, but not as the Barker bird.
No.
It's gonna look like him.
It may look like him, Sam. That is not our bird. This is a new bird.
Okay, so
because why else would he have a different name if he wasn't a new bird?
The tavern is the brainchild of the legendary pirate captain Mary Goldwyn, a framed rum runner. So she's running for rum. That's good. And her talkative first mate, Rummy. I love that name, Rummy. Will there be Rummy plushes? That's what I want to know. The lively parrot is perched high above the bar. And if Rummy looks familiar, it's no accident. This is from Disney's press release. The chatterbox strongly resembles the original Barker board that once graced guests outside of Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
There you go. So that's our backstory.
Can't be the same bird because it's got a new name.
It's got a new name. Can't be the same bird. No new concept art. These are the same things we've seen. Yeah, so it's Rummy and Captain Mary Goldwyn.
His name is Rummy.
Be back soon.
Yeah. Good job, Rummy.
Lux Mary.
Do you think they're going to see plush of him?
Yes.
With the name of Rummy?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
We'll see. All right, moving on. Concept art we've seen before.
I so hate that name, man.
Now,
it's
fine. I have no problem with it. I have no problem with it. What do you want to call him? Barker Bird?
Call him Barker Bird. Call him Bob. Call him Bob Barker.
Bob
Come
Barker
on,
Bird.
Rummy.
Oh man, Rummy and Bob the Barker Bird. As you were leaving, and I did want to ask you about this because you posted an image of a sign while you were leaving the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
And it was for parking. So if guests are driving in, and it basically said, and sorry, this pixelated on me here.
Okay.
If you're in one of these lots, you have to walk. And it was basically, if you're parked within a 5-minute walk, just start walking because the tram doesn't stop there. Or what's new here, Greg?
So this is misleading a little bit, and I'll clear this up, right?
Okay.
So the trams take you up past Rapunzel and Mulan on the right side, and I believe it's Ursula and Cruella on the left side,
which are like the third set of parking lots.
The third set of parking, right? So over at the Magic Kingdom, the first set of Jafar and I think it's I forget who that is.
Aladdin, Woody.
That is all handicap parking.
So that's you're going to walk.
Behind it, you have preferred parking. And
Okay.
then on the left-hand side is additional handicap parking. So you were kind of walking that way anyway. And they're saying it takes about 5 to 10 minutes to walk that. And they're right. Okay. Now the tram will drop you off literally just past at where the intersection is of Mulan, Rapunzel, and the next one up. So you don't have to walk it. You can take the tram and backtrack a few hundred feet if you have to. But what they're saying is hey, not everybody has to get on the tram at the end of the night. You can just go and walk to your car, and it'll probably end up being quicker. And now we have walk time. So they're estimating that's 5-minute walk to one side, 10-minute walk to the other side.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, they're about right. It depends on where you're coming from.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
fine. I wasn't sure if that was a big change or not, but it's just
No,
hey,
it's more of a kind of you start
you
noticing,
might
and
be
when you
better off walking than jumping on
yeah,
the
it's kind
tram
of just a
train.
way of going, hey, you may not know this. Locals know this. People who are here all the time will know this. But hey,
Right.
you don't live here. This is your first time. It may be quicker for you to walk.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, just
Um,
information.
yep. Good stuff. Let's move on because two things
Moving on.
happening. What they call a Disney's referring to it as, I don't know if it's a phenomenon or what, but zombies and Descendants.
Yeah,
Zombies for Dawn of the Vampires and Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland.
yeah.
Those two movies for Disney Plus are in production. These franchises continue to roll on, and they're pushing the heck out of these two things.
Yeah, not only that, but they're both on tour together all
Yes.
summer long, doing songs and dance and video packages across the country. So you get to see the characters do cross over a little bit. Big thing about the Descendants one was Brandy is returning as Cinderella again. She was in Descendants 4.
Cinderella's
She
daughter,
was in
right?
the original Disney's Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella that was released in 99, 2009, somewhere around there.
Okay.
But,
Okay.
yeah, Brandy is returning as Cinderella again. And then her
Super
daughter's
cool.
in it, so that's pretty cool.
That is
The
cool.
zombies thing, over at Hollywood Studios, you can go check out the
Oh,
costumes
that's
from
right.
it, which
I
we talked
saw a
about last
blog about
week.
that over at
So,
Fantasy Land
look,
News.
this is the new High School Musical,
Yes, that's
right?
exactly what I was gonna say. The franchise keeps rolling. They're up to 4 and 5. High School Musical didn't make it that long, but that's
Yeah,
okay.
and,
It's
uh
all good.
but no, they made it to High School the musical, the series, and then then they have a new one being made called High School, the musical, the series, the musical of part 3. Uh,
I'm
but
gonna
no,
move
these
on
are all
because
on look, Disney Channel is pushing out some great content this summer.
they are.
We have Zombies 4, but not only that, the return of Phineas and Ferb,
Yes.
Big City Green is still going strong. There's some amazing shows still going on Disney Channel.
Yes, absolutely. I wanted to move on here. I had one
Moving on.
thing I wanted to talk about very quickly. Over at the boardwalk, I think we talked before that Jelly Rolls is closed. I want to cut that volume there. Jelly Rolls is closed. The dance hall was next door, but one thing opened very recently that kind of was under the radar, and that's over at the Dolphin Hotel, which you can see here. And if
Wait,
you
wait,
haven't
wait,
been
wait.
to,
Before
go
we
ahead.
move on, did
Yeah,
you just pan over the no signage on Jelly Rolls really, really fast?
I did. It's right
You could have
there.
sent me pictures,
The
that was
signage is
news right there.
gone
There's
from
no
Jelly
signage.
Rolls.
Yeah, look how quick
The
you were like,
sign is
"No, who cares
gone.
about Jelly
It's
Rolls?"
gone.
Moving
But that was
on, let's
part of
talk
it.
about the
But
Dolphin.
here's Jelly Rolls is gone. Yeah, we know it. The Big River Barbecue's gone. Yeah, we know it. The ESPN Arcade is gone, and I've been itching for a good arcade since that was gone. That's where the Cake Bake Bakery is today. Not the restaurant, but the bakery. It used to be the ESPN restaurant with all the TVs and then the arcade next door. So if you head over to the Dolphin, and if you haven't been in the Dolphin, you go in the bottom floor. You can just walk straight over there. You can take a friendship boat. When you get into the bottom floor, it's a beautiful place, by the way. This is the lobby. When you enter, the escalator goes up to the lobby, which is on the 3rd floor. We're on the 1st floor. That is the fountain on the right-hand side with a new touchscreen menu. And I
Mhm.
will say desserts as good as Beaches and Cream. The
Yeah.
Fountain Shop right there. Hamburgers as good as Beaches and Cream right there in the Dolphin.
This
A little
video is very smooth, like it's on wheels or something.
exactly. The Rosa Mexicano is a
I love
newer
Rosa Mexicana,
Mexican
my favorite
restaurant.
Mexican place.
Very good over there. But as you continue to walk through, it's a little bit of a maze to get through the Dolphin. And I almost ran over the chef here as he's coming out with boxes of something, but I was able to slow down and keep my composure. What you'll see there is Lagoon Games and Lanes. That
Yeah.
used to be Peekaboo. Peekaboo was their food court type location. And by the way, if you're familiar with the Dolphin, you know that straight ahead right there is their swimming pool area. I'm going to make it to the right and the left. It used to be a kids club, but on the right-hand side, you can see some people
You're zooming,
bowling over
man.
here.
You're
Yeah,
zooming.
moving right along, man. It's somewhat smooth, not completely
Yeah.
smooth, but it does a little bit. So we're going to get up here to Lagoon Games and Lanes, which reminds me of the old Boardwalk ESPN Arcade. And there's a couple of reasons. One is there are lots of redemption games. You collect the tickets and you go and redeem those tickets. You see lots of crane games and claw machines. There's also a bowling alley in here. I'm
Yeah,
going to
that's
make my way
crazy.
around the corner, which is really cool. There's so a couple of things I want to point out. This right here that went by kind of quickly is a touch screen for ordering food right over here.
Nice, and they'll bring it to you?
And they will bring it to you. You can order food, you can order drinks. You touch that screen right there, they bring it right out to you. You just keep playing.
Of course.
It's big. Look, this thing keeps going. It's the size of the old arcade plus the food court that they once
Yeah,
had.
that's massive.
It is really big. And on the right-hand side, you see the gentleman here. That's the redemption center where you redeem your tickets. Lots
Right.
of cool things. And by the way, it's not all Disney. There are Mickeys and Minnies, but you can get a Peppa Pig. You can get a Mario. There's all kind of cool things in here that you can win. But this is my quick tour of Lagoon Games and Lanes. There's another one of the ordering machines there that you can touch, but kind of
Nice.
cool. Little soccer machine. Lots of interesting things in there.
That is
Cool.
pretty cool, man. Look, Swan and Dolphin, those guys do an amazing job. And
They
their
do.
food and wine festival's coming up again this year, and
That's right.
they just finished up a lot of their construction work on the convention center. So yeah, and now that some of the best food around. And look, we'll talk more about Shula's is closing next month.
Lots of
And
things
I need to
happening.
get Rosa Mexicana again because they will come to your table and make the guacamole and the salsa.
Ooh, you
right
gotta
at
like
your
that.
table.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gotta
be
like
good.
that.
Yeah.
I want to introduce Greg a new segment into our weekly show, in addition to our Muppet Magnets, which are rolling on through 70. Because
Yeah.
last week we spent a lot of time on your epic adventures. So I wanted to give you, and we're going to call it Greg's Epic Thought of the Week. Is that cool? And I just
Hey,
wanted to
man,
throw an
I
image
have
up there and
epic
let you
thoughts
go
all
off.
the time.
You do. So with this image, what do you see? Donkey Kong Country.
The longest ride and longest queue you will find at the new Epic Universe. Literally, they need to fix some stuff over there because this one goes down. They have not figured out how to get people smoothly on and off, but it's still really cool because they brought over Donkey Kong himself to do meet and greets
Cool.
over there. So I hope we get more of that. Minecart Madness is really an ingenious ride. It is made for my kids. It is made for people who have played Donkey Kong Country. There's throwbacks to all the different games. If any of you remember the old bongos that you used to play in
Yes.
one of the Donkey Kongs,
Yes.
they literally have that over there. And if you do it properly, a giant rhinoceros will come stampeding across. It is, look, Epic Universe is done very, very well what they have done. They have a lot of issues to work out before they open up in under 2 weeks. And
I'm sure they'll work them out. We'll come back. It's cool. We'll come back to more of those. And the last thing that we got is our Muppet Magnet, which
yeah,
this week is the second of the pigs in space, which we figured would get the rest of them. But this week it is Dr. Jules. Is that right?
Julius
Julius
Strange Pork. Come on, it's the old guy, Dr. Strange Pork.
It's the old
When
guy,
last we
Doctor.
saw Dr. Strange Pork.
Yes, exactly. That's number 37 of 70. Lots more to go.
We're still
Lots more to go. There, you're
not
back.
done.
You're
Yeah.
back. You're back.
I don't know why
I
I restarted the
fine.
computer the other day, and
It
it's just,
is fine.
hey, look, we're
man.
working. By the time we're done, that's perfect.
Yeah, you're working, but that's okay, man. Look,
Dude.
it's been a good show. Thank you. Thanks
Wait,
all of you
before we
for
move
watching.
on,
Yeah, please.
before we
you.
move on,
Yes.
by the way, this Friday, my friend, is the official
Okay.
Muppets 70th anniversary. So we have been collecting these magnets as part of the 70th anniversary, but it is officially on this Friday, the 70th anniversary of the Muppet Show of the Muppets. So
it's
please
the
wear
first
your
Muppet
Muppets
Show.
with pride. Walk around, sing Rainbow Connection, be nice to each other, waka waka this way, whatever it is you're going to do, but have a Muppet
So
sensational time.
what is the official thing that happened 70 years ago? Is it Sam and Friends? Is it? We need to look into that for next week. Like what? It's May the 9th,
yeah.
but what happened on May the 9th? Was it the first
Right.
Sam and Friends broadcast, which would have been Jim Henson alone with what became Kermit? I don't know.
It wasn't even what became Kermit, because he was using the two characters before that for like a year and a half, and then
Yes.
his wife joined him as a Muppeteer before they
Yes.
were even the Muppets, and that's
Well, the
when
puppeteer,
Kermit was
right, yeah.
born. The
Very
original Kermit was born. So yeah, let's find that out. We'll talk about Muppets next week, man. We are Muppets
There'll probably
family
be
around
nothing
here.
else to talk about. I mean, nothing happens in this Disney universe.
Yeah, nothing going on ever here, Sam. We have nothing but peace and love. But speaking of that, Sam, as always, I appreciate it, my friend. Happy birthday one more time to my co-host, my other host. I don't know, whatever you are. Happy birthday, Sam. You can always get Sam at samsdisneydiary.com, Sam's Disney Daily on Instagram, and of course on YouTube at Sam's Disney Diary. You can get me at Fantasyland News blog on Instagram, or just fantasylandnews.com, Fantasyland News on YouTube. We appreciate every single one of you for watching. Scott, Holly, Lily, everybody else who's out there. We appreciate you as always.
Absolutely.
And on that line, end of line.
Congaloose. We'll see you next week. Same time, same channel. May the 14th, 2025. See you then. Bye, all.